The St. John Paul Eagles will be heading into summer break with a ray of sunshine after a fantastic 42-7 blowout win here tonight from the Eagles' Nest in Boca Raton in their spring game over Pompano Beach. Thank you so much for joining us all evening long here for updates on ASN. I'm Ian Hest. It started early and often for the Eagles. The very first offensive play of the game when Ryan Risk, a name you'll hear early and often in these highlights, went over the top to Jonathan Cook, 53 yards inside the Pompano Beach 30 on the very first play of the game. Now that drive would stall, but that didn't mean that the Eagles weren't scoring off early in the first quarter, because on the very next possession, the Golden Tornadoes' first offensive possession, it was Maurice Clark coming up with a pick six heading the other way and putting St. John Paul in front 7-0. Just several minutes later, it would be Clark again, this time on the offensive front, hooking up with Ryan Risk, 40 yards, 4-6, make it 7 after the extra point, and it will be 14-0 after one quarter. Heading into halftime, the Eagles would add another touchdown to their resume. Risk getting his second touchdown of the evening in the air, this time to Joe Farley. 59 yards, the big play in the passing game, a theme throughout the night. And Risk getting his second touchdown to put the Eagles up 21-0 heading into the halftime break. In the second half, well, Pompano Beach would make some adjustments. They tried to have some long, extended pound and ground drives and looked really in the early going of the third quarter to get something going offensively, but they couldn't get it in the end zone. Too many turnovers tonight, too many interceptions, and as the head coach, Mike Nagy, said after the game, too many points left on the board. They could not get it in after their first drive of the third quarter. They would take it well into the end zone, but an interception gave the ball back to St. John Paul, who again would connect through the air. Risk, 40 yards to Joe Farley. This time, they didn't get into the end zone down to the 1 yard line. The very next play, though, punching it in to make it a 28-0 lead. Finally, early in the fourth quarter, Pompano Beach would get on the board. Logan Good, a 1 yard quarterback sneak. That would be the only points of the evening for the Golden Tornadoes, make it 28-7. But after that, the story all night, Ryan Risk and this St. John Paul offense. Two more touchdowns, the first to Jonathan Cook, 30 yards. The second to Maurice Clark, 38 yards. Maurice Clark's third touchdown of the game, and your final score, 42-7. Head coach Willie Snead absolutely elated after this game and will be feeling good not only about his entire team, but specifically this offense and specifically his quarterback, Ryan Risk, throwing for 4 touchdowns on the night. And again, your final score here from the Eagles' Nest in Boca Raton, St. John Paul 42 and Pompano Beach 7. Thank you so much. I'm Ian Hess for joining us here on ASN. Have a great night.